asked if you had read the indictment. You said you read it word for word, page for page, right?
I did. I keep up. I love Jackson.
Still, they've not been in court, and they've not been found guilty. It's just an indictment at this point.
They don't see it. My first statement was, think about your family. Think about your family. Put your family first.
I never thought in a million years we would have been put in the situation that we were in. Never. Because we went through our whole career doing the right thing.
It's utterly ridiculous to me. Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Othor Cain Show. I'm Othor Cain. Glad to have you aboard on a Thursday evening. We've got a great show lined up for you. We're going to talk about Senate District 26 here in Mississippi, and that seat is up for grabs now that John Horn has become mayor of the city of Jackson. We've got a guest that's going to talk about her quest to become your next state senator. Before we get to that, though, let me take this opportunity to say thank you for your support. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your continuous support. Please feel free to subscribe to the page, to like the page, to share the page. That's how we are able to continue to bring you stories that are uninterrupted, right? You can feel free to donate. Our cash app is $Othor Cain. We are absolutely grateful for every piece of support that you give us. I am absolutely excited to have attorney Kamesha Mumford with us tonight. She is seeking the seat of Senate District 26, and I'm excited to have a conversation with her, excited to talk about her vision and her goal for this Senate seat. Again, this seat became vacant once John Horn became mayor of the city of Jackson. The governor has set a special election for this seat, and I kind of guessed it early on, but it came true. So the election will be in November. And so without further ado, let's please welcome to the broadcast tonight, attorney Kamesha Mumford.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. I know you've had a busy day. I know that you've got a lot of things you're juggling and balancing. So I appreciate you taking time to be with us tonight. Attorney Mumford, I want to just jump right into this thing, and we'll get the preliminaries out of the way first and then get into some specific questions. And so first, if you would, just give our viewers an opportunity to know who you are. Who is Kamesha Mumford?
Oh, gosh. I will start with I am a voice. For those that don't have a voice, I'm from the exit 119, Canton, Mississippi. My parents are Reverend and Mrs. Sammy and Shirley Brown. I'm married to Gerald Mumford. I am the mother to Garrison and Gia Mumford. I am a city court judge. I'm a lawyer. I represent clients who need help sorting out their property issues. But more than that, I'm a servant. And I count that servanthood as my highest duty. And so if you know anything about me, I want you to know that I work with a sincere heart and that I have a genuine desire to serve others.
Well, service looks good on you. You've been doing it for a long time. And so I'm excited to see you take this journey and excited to see you continue to serve and wanting to serve for even more Mississippians. Another basic question, why this seat?
That's a question that I've been asked many times regarding this journey. And it was something that actually first came to me in a dream. And then I started praying about it months ago, actually. And I prayed and asked the Lord, like, is this the thing that you want me to do? Because I thought there was something else that he wanted for me. And this just kept coming back to me. And after, talking it over with my family, continuing to pray about it, had to go see my pastor to make sure. Those callings that you get and you're like, is this it? Is this the thing that you want me to do? And I'm a person, like, my prayer life is on fleek. I don't know if that's still a popular thing to say. I pray about every single solitary thing. And so that's how I was led to this, right? I know that I've always been in a position of service, but we're at such a critical time for our country, our state, our local community. And we need some strong, stable, common sense leadership. And who better than me,
I totally agree with that. Thank you for answering the call. I think it's real important that you have the connection with the man upstairs. So thank you so much for answering the call. I want to jump into some specific issues around this particular seat. We've seen recently that a supermajority legislature has struggled with effective leadership, right? Effective governance due to disagreements with the lieutenant governor and even the speaker of the House. How will you work not just across the aisle, because that's the typical thing to say, that I'm going to work across the aisle. But I guess I want to know, how will you work across the chambers to govern effectively?
I think I heard it first from Othor Cain. Relationships matter. And establishing good relationships start with having some mutual respect. And what I've tried to do over the course of my career is carry myself in such a way where people can trust me and depend upon me to do the right thing. And so that, I always got the star for works well with others. Because I really do believe in treating people how you want to be treated. And it starts with being an honest person and having some integrity. And it is going to require not just working across the aisle, but working across the chamber and all over the Capitol to get the things done that we need done with the state of our politics. And so that's how I can be an effective senator, because I think I have a reputation for having the right character to where people will be willing to work with me so that I can serve the folks that sent me there.
I think you're absolutely right, Attorney Mumford. I think relationships are very important. Relationships matter, especially, because of the supermajority that's in both chambers, right? Yeah. You've got to be able to figure it out and, how to get it done. And that also comes with the ability to make sacrifices and compromises, not compromises where you sell your soul, but compromises for the greater good of getting the job done in your district. I wonder, though, if you have already reached out to those legislators who encompass District 26 in the House to collaborate on the 2026 agenda.
I have. We've been having some really good conversations over the last few months. We already knew of each other, have some of the same ideas of how to get things done. And so I've already established a great working relationship and look forward to the future of us working together. I'm an attorney by trade. And so I'm a problem solver. I'm a property lawyer. And a big part of that is being able to figure out how to put the pieces to the puzzle back together sometimes. And so I realized early on that if I didn't have a good relationship with those House members that encompass the Senate district, that I was going nowhere fast. And so that was really important to me to reach out and say, this is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. And these are the things that are important to me for this community.
That's good stuff. So this is, when you are elected, this will be filling an unfulfilled term, right? So you will be completing a term. So you'll have 2 years for that. So what would be your top priorities outside of appropriations? Because everybody knows we need money and everybody knows, that money is important. But outside of appropriations, for the remainder of this 2-year Senate term, what would be your top priority?
Well, it kind of starts with appropriations, Othor, because we've got some infrastructure problems that I've got to focus on. I've been hearing about bridges being out and roads that need to be repaired, and we can't move forward in our future if we don't take care of those infrastructure needs of our community. And so, that's kind of a top priority for me, is taking care of our infrastructure. Now, the other thing that's really important to me is protecting our public retirement system, preserving what's left of it, and trying to find ways to strengthen it. I say this all the time. We have to take care of the people who've been taking care of us for so long. And that is a part of this, is making sure that we preserve that system as much as we can with the changes that have already been made. And I know that it is on the agenda for the next session, and to just really be there to be an advocate to protect that system, and to find ways to strengthen it if at all possible.
That's good stuff. You're absolutely right. It's on the agenda. These attacks are coming to PERS, left and right. Yeah. And you've got vulnerable people out there, Attorney Mumford, who have invested so much and they've put so much into this, and they want to be able to live comfortably when they retire.
And they have earned it. Just think about our teachers and our police officers, the sacrifices that they made for their own families to serve others. And it's unfair to do anything that would jeopardize that to them. And also in recruiting other teachers and police officers, they need to have some incentive to join our system. And that was a really great tool that we had that's now been watered down, very much so.
You talked a little bit about infrastructure, and that is a great need. I will submit to you that District 26 is very diverse. It's almost like a microcosm of the state, right?
Yes.
You've got rich, poor, black, white, gay, straight,
rural, urban. I mean, it's
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, then, though, do you take this melting pot that District 26 is? How do you weld it together and effectively navigate your way towards meeting the needs of such a diverse district?
A large part of that is going straight to the people in all the different areas. And it's a huge district. But when I think about it, all of us want the same things. We want to live in a safe community. We want some good roads, good schools, some economic growth. But everybody has these unique needs that they have in their community. Like I was talking about, those bridges being out, right. Or the drainage issues that we have. But just knowing all the different areas in our district will help me be prepared to take care of everybody's needs. And I've been knocking on doors for a long time now and asking, what would you require? What do you need from me as your senator? And the responses have been diverse, but they all go back to quality of life.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to go back to PERS because one of our viewers, Yamika Wall, says, especially since the state doesn't give us an option with PERS and the amount they take out. Mm-hmm. I think she speaks for so many people who want to understand that I'll have this at the end.
Yeah, because it's not optional, right? They decide. My first job was for the Chancery Clerk's office. And I remember, and I graduated from law school, and I got that first check and was like, whoa, and there was nothing you could do about it, but you're okay with it if you're thinking you're going to get a return on that. And that's the thing that so many people are worried about right now. Like, what is the long-term fixes? We know there have to be some changes made or the money's going to run out, but what do we do to make sure that we're taking care of everyone?
Got it. And so you've connected with people in PERS, right, that can help you fully understand and navigate in this space.
Yeah, I have some meetings set up next week to really get a great understanding of ways that we can manage it so that there's not so much sticker shock, number one, if any. And the second part of it is, how do we try to strengthen it from what happened last session, where we have this new tier that is more like a 401k than what we would normally have. You hear about those 13 checks all the time. And so what happens now, since we won't have that incentive for new employees that are coming into the system?
Right. I got to tell you, we talked about working across the aisle and working across the different chambers of government, but I got to tell you that sometimes it's frowned upon, right? Like you have a strong contingency of Democrats, right? And sometimes it's frowned upon, especially from freshman lawmakers, right?
Yeah.
How do you think you'll be able to navigate through that, through this political pressure?
Right. Well, you know, my number one priority is going to be the citizens of District 26. What I've been telling people, they say, well, you politicians make all these promises. I said, well, I'm only going to make you two. And I said, I'm going to always tell you the truth and that I'm going to work really hard to do a good job for you. So I wouldn't go and vote for anything that's against their best interests. But I do understand it's a give and a take. And if I want to be an effective senator, then I've got to give some and take some so that my district can be the best that it can be.
Awesome. Attorney Mumford, what separates you from your opponents?
Oh my God. Number one, my heart for service. But secondly, and someone told me recently that I'm too humble about it, but my resume speaks for itself. I've been practicing law for 18 years. I've been a judge for 12 years. I'm licensed to practice in 2 states, Mississippi and Louisiana. I took the Louisiana bar with 2 months to study. I have been an advocate by profession for 18 years, but I've been an advocate since I was in 2nd grade at Holy Child Jesus School, you know, advocating for the kid that got pushed to the back of the line because he never got to be line leader. You know, that's me. That's my heart. I've been working in this community even before now. And didn't realize how many connections I had across District 26 until I announced that I would run. And my office, every day I'm getting phone calls for people reminding me of things and ways that I've helped them. And now they're ready to take advantage of the opportunity to pay me back by helping me. And it has been so humbling because you do things and you forget about them. You know, I always say my reward is in heaven. So if I did something to help you, I'm never going to post it. But hearing them, you know, call the office, you know, I had someone yesterday come and get all of my push cards. And then today she called me and said, I need more. I've already handed all those out. That is, you know.
That's humbling. I love it. Me up. That is really good. You know, excuse me. Sometimes we get caught up, right? We get caught up with stale leadership. We get caught up with doing the same thing over and over and over again. I wonder if you could expound on how will you chart a new path forward for District 26?
Yeah, I just think accessibility is really important. I was telling someone the other day how we have people that will just stop by our law office with a problem without an appointment, without feeling like they need to call me. I've really tried to be approachable so that if you have a need, you don't feel, you don't hesitate to say, look, I need your help with this. I've heard from many folks who have voter apathy, who are over the political process. Somebody told me today, you politicians only come around when you want or need our vote. Well, I'm not that kind of person. I won't be that kind of senator. I've been present in this community all this time before now. I will be even more present going forward.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I think another hot button issue for 2026 is going to be education. Right. I think that's going to be huge. I think school choice, educational freedom, I think those will be big issues in 2026. So I wonder, what are your thoughts and how do you navigate strong opinions from different constituents in your district?
You know, my personal belief is that we have to take care of our teachers, our schools, and our school districts. I think if you decide that you want to send your children to public schools, your tax dollars should still flow to private school. Your tax dollars should still flow to that public school. That is my belief. We've got to take care of our teachers, our administrators, and our public school system. And if we don't have that commitment, then we're not concerned about our community as a whole.
Totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And so there's so many conversations around it, right? So many conversations, so many ways that folk are trying to design this legislation. But I think that you are spot on. I think that you are 100% accurate when you talk about the need to take care of teachers and to take care of public schools, because you're absolutely right. No matter where you send your kids, you still pay taxes, right? You still pay taxes, and those taxes go to public schools. So I think that you are absolutely.
And wherever you pay taxes, you should be invested there, right? And that's a way to show an even greater investment.
That's exactly right. A lot of folk don't necessarily equate being a senator to addressing public safety. How do you connect the two?
Well, we just talked about appropriations. And that kind of goes back to how we get the most things done. You know, public safety is so important to our community, but they need funding. You know, you need to have money so you can pay officers a fair wage. They're risking their lives every day. So many of them need to work this overtime just to be able to have a decent lifestyle. And so we can appropriate the proper amount of funding there so that we can have more officers present on the street. We can also create some programming. You know, public safety is more than policing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You need more than that. And I see it every single week in city court. There was some talk some time ago about mental health courts, which I think should be in with public safety, because I see folks every week who probably just need an evaluation to keep them out of trouble. And so it's a situation where we've got to think about it holistically, not just about policing, but how do we prevent crimes? And all of that takes a certain amount of thought. And then we need to budget appropriately. But you can't budget it if you don't have it. So
I totally agree. I totally agree. Let's talk about your district and the makeup of it. Give us the boundaries and tell us all about this.
Oh goodness, it stretches far and wide. So we've got Bolton, Edwards, Tenon, Pocahontas, Clinton, north of Arrow Drive, North Madison. So think Lake Lorman, Annandale, Lake Caroline. Going into Ridgeland, Livingston Road, Dinsmore, Bridgewater 2 to North Jackson. So all those voters that voted New Hope, Hanging Moss Church of Christ, Aldersgate, Green Elementary, McWillie, mostly Ward 2, City of Jackson. And then we got the south part of Ridgeland. So Lake Harbor Drive, think Mount Charity Church, St. Mark, the Mark apartment is actually the precinct. So 57,000 voters.
57,000 voters in Senate District 26. Wow. Now you mentioned being a city judge. Will you have to give that up if you become a senator?
Yes.
You would have to.
You cannot do both branches of government. Yeah.
Different branches of government. Absolutely. So that district is wide. Oh my God, that is wide.
So many people didn't know that they were even a part of it, but I've been all over it already. I have a map in my car because I've had to pull it out often and say, no, this is you. Like, this is you right here.
You know, and that's interesting that you would say that, because you don't have the luxury of just simply asking people for their vote. You've got to do the whole voter education thing. You got to do all of that. Asking for their support, and you know what I mean, and that's so spread out. That is very interesting, and you've already walked the entire district. You've already done it. Well,
not the entire district, but I'm making some ground. I've been canvassing just about every day. I got caught in the rain yesterday in North Jackson. You know, it was just a little cloud, and then that cloud got darker and darker until Gerald has some really good video of that, so we'll see.
Campaign bloopers, right?
Yeah, we got a little real, but you know, I'm just excited to meet people. I have a really good team, and so we have volunteers that'll go out with us every day. And so right before it started raining, someone challenged one of my team members, "Where is she? Does she have you out here, or is she out here?" She's like, "She's right over there across the street." And she said, "Well, I want to see her." And then the bottom fell out, and she went in the house. So I'm going to go visit her on Sunday. I will see her on Sunday. We have her address, and she actually reached out via social media. Was like, "I'm so sorry I had to go in the house. Can you come back?" And I told her I'd come back on Sunday.
Got it.
Yeah.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned on the campaign trail so far?
Oh my goodness. The biggest lesson that I think I've learned is that people just want to be seen and heard, which was surprising to me in this social media age where people are posting and sharing so much of their lives. I was hesitant about canvassing because I'm thinking people don't want you knocking on their doors. That is not true. I mean, we have been welcomed so much over these last several weeks. And they have ideas. They're happy to share things that they think you can do to make it better. And so I have really been encouraged with how they've participated so far. And I'm going to continue to remind them that an election is coming up and they need to go vote on November 4th. But the engagement, it really has been wonderful. It really has.
Absolutely. Yumika agrees with you. She says consistent canvassing and showing your face helps a lot. That wins elections. Absolutely.
I'm a first timer, so they don't know me, So I've got to let them get to know me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, being on doors is so incredibly important. So important. So that's the lesson you've learned. What's been the biggest challenge on the campaign trail?
Time. There's not enough of it. And really, aside from that, I care so much about being effective, right? And there are many challenges that we face as a community. And in all sincerity, that's kind of where the rubber meets the road for me is how do I solve these problems? I'm an overachiever and I know what I'm going into. I know there's a supermajority. I know I only have one vote, but I am going there to make a difference. And so even now I'm thinking of ways and things that I can do to make things better, to make a difference, to make some change, even if it's in how we think of our elected officials.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you fix that? How do you change that?
I got to be the change, Othor. They got to see it in the way that I walk and talk and live my life.
That's good stuff. That's that really speaks volumes, right? Because I think that you're right. I think that the perception of elected officials, I think that must change.
Yeah.
It's bad. I think it absolutely has to change. And to hear you say that is absolutely refreshing. It is absolutely refreshing. Absolutely refreshing. So tell me a little bit about that Capitol Police has extended more north. They've taken in more jurisdiction. You're also keenly aware, of the CCID district and new courts, judges, and all of that. What are your thoughts there?
Initially I was a critic. I'll say that. Seeing how it's worked and seeing the public's response to it, I've been encouraged by that. I think it just should be more of a partnership. We've got to be in this thing together. And if we think about things in those terms and not us against them, that sort of thing, but how is this working for the community as a whole? I think we can make some great progress. JPD is doing a great job and working where they are. But I think having that partnership gives us another layer of security as long as everyone has the same goal, which is protecting our community as a whole. And that's, just talking to residents. And I can remember when it first came to be and it was extending out and folks were like, no, we don't want this. And now people are saying, well, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes, it has worked out. There have been some issues and nothing's going to be perfect.
Right.
But if we are all working together forward, everything will be all right.
I like it. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I think I'm in the same boat that you're in. Initially, I was hesitant, but I've seen progress. I've seen improvement. I've seen what the additional support to JPD has done for them. But I also see renewed energy inside of JPD as well. So I think that you are absolutely right.
Yeah, just think how if you're overworked, you've been working this job and finally they hire a new employee that comes in to assist you, and you can
Right.
take some of the pressure off. You have some better ideas with how you perform, and everybody's made better. If we can,
Absolutely. And
you know,
they don't change your pay, right? And you can relax
right?
with it. And
That's right. That's right.
they don't change your pay.
Yeah.
But really good. So as you make your way around this district, and as we've acknowledged that District 26, Senate District 26 is so diverse, again, it's in my mind, it's like a microcosm of the state. It really is. As you make your way, I know you said people want to be heard and they want to be seen, but what else are you hearing in terms of need?
The main need is infrastructure everywhere, roads, bridges, drainage, blight, all of those things are what I hear the most, and public safety. Like those are the two big ticket items as I'm going across the district is, this needs to be better with our roads. Our bridge has been out for a certain amount of time. What are you going to do about that? That's increased the time of our commute. School is about to start back. These children are going to be late. Like how much longer is it going to be? Those are the biggest concerns that I've heard. And then of course the PERS issue is I get stopped now. And I was in Kroger the other day and somebody said, "Hey, I'm retiring in January. Am I still getting my 13th check?" And so that's kind of at the top of everyone's minds is, infrastructure, public safety, PERS.
And I think you're right in terms of all of those issues. You got to have money to fix them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have money. So
Yeah.
the appropriations piece is certainly a top priority. So November 4th will be here before you know it.
Yes, it will be here.
It will be here before you know it. What are you saying?
117 days.
To be exact. Who's counting? Who's counting, right?
Who's counting? Yeah.
So what are you saying to voters? What are you saying to them?
What I'm saying to them is that I care about what matters to them, that I'm a hard worker, that they can trust me, and that I'm fully prepared to begin work on day one. I have the experience, I have the heart, and more than that, I have the drive to really work hard to make as much progress as we can make, and to hear them out. We've been talking about listening tours already and how we get back and have updates for them on a regular basis so that they can stay engaged. This is about way more than me. We've got voter apathy all over the district. And what I want to see is people become more engaged in the process. And if they're more engaged in that, they'll be more engaged in what's happening in their community. I've been really inspired by the number of people who attend homeowners association meetings. Those are the people who are investing the most in that community normally. And I've seen an increase even in those meetings. I've been to several of them for the last 2 months. And we've seen more and more people come to the meetings and participate, and hearing their concerns about what they want to do to make their neighborhood better is the same thing that we need to do across the district, across the state.
I agree.
Yeah.
I can tell you that Representative Justice Gibbs has done a yeoman's job connecting with those homeowners associations. Man. And he takes that information and he goes.
Hey, I took that page out of his playbook.
I'm telling you, man, he fights for those homeowners associations.
Yeah.
He's done a really, really, really good job. So I want to give you an opportunity. I don't want to hold you long, but I want to give you an opportunity to make an appeal. A, to folk who may not know you, and B, to just the average voter getting to know you. Make an appeal.
I'm Kamesha Mumford. I am a servant for the people. I am here to make sure that you are properly represented and advocated for. I care about the things that matter the most to you. I have the legal training and background, but more than that, I really do have the care and the concern to go and fight for infrastructure, public safety, quality education, economic growth, and protecting our public retirement system. I envision a state where we take care of everyone's needs and we don't leave anyone behind because we do it together. And that's why I am asking for your vote to be your next state senator for District 26.
That's awesome. Attorney Mumford, thank you, ma'am. I certainly do appreciate you being here. I don't think anyone is going to outwork you, that's for sure. I don't think anyone is going to outwork you. Timothy Brown says that you have his support. He is absolutely supporting your campaign. So that's good stuff. How can they reach out to you? Maybe to volunteer, maybe to donate. How do they get you?
We have our website, www.kmumford4senate.com. Our office is at 820 North Street in Jackson. We can be reached there at 601-398-2347. And we've been getting phone calls just about every day for folks wanting to volunteer, donate, participate in our campaign, pick up yard signs. So call us at the office. We are happy to take your call and figure out how we can make you a part of our campaign team.
Well, I tell you, one person should probably be on your team, Adrian Colvin, man. She is Team Mumford.
I appreciate her. Yeah, I appreciate her support. And we know she's a tough one now. I mean,
I love it. Absolutely love it. And when she believes in something, she believes.
Yeah, she does.
I absolutely love it. Yumika says, "Good luck and God bless Attorney Mumford."
Attorney Mumford,
I appreciate you being here tonight. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Y'all keep me in your prayers. If you see me canvassing in your neighborhood, say hello.
Absolutely. Have a good night. Thank you for
All right. Thank you so much, Othor. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's Attorney Kamesha Mumford. She is seeking the office of Senator for Senate District 26. And we certainly do encourage you to support her. You know, it's so refreshing when you have folk that offer themselves as public servants and they really mean that, right? And they really have a heart for the people. I think that is absolutely evident in Attorney Mumford. You know, there are so many things that she alluded to that separates her from her opponents, but I think the largest thing is her heart for people, right? She is a servant. She's a servant of Christ. She leads like that. And so this is going to be really good. I think Senate District 26, I think that we will be in good hands with the election of Attorney Kamesha Mumford. Listen, we're going to get out of here a little early tonight. We only plan to have a conversation tonight with Attorney Mumford, so we're going to call it quits a little bit early tonight. Again, thank you. Adrian, absolutely. It comes straight through, right? It comes out of her. It shines bright inside of her. You're absolutely right. It shines bright. But we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll talk to you again.